2 jail guards in charge of watching Jeffrey Epstein's cell, now accused of napping and online shopping instead of making required rounds every 30 minutes. Video surveillance shows nobody approached Epstein's cell between 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 in the next morning on August 10th. When Epstein was found dead, the disgraced billionaire financier was facing federal sex trafficking charges. The New York City chief medical examiner ruled his death a suicide. However, conspiracy theories abound. The Department of Justice is refuting that he could have been murdered, but the FBI is investigating the possibility a criminal enterprise was involved. Joining us right now is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano, and it could very well be that those guards were paid or told to not move.
Such a tantalizing phrase.
Who
criminal
would do
enterprise.
That? Why not move? Why not get up to check from 6:30 at night to 10:30 in the morning?
If they were paid to do it, the government has an affirmative duty to find out who paid them to do it. So the story, as told by the indictment, is one in which the government actually indicts itself, that they should be asleep for 2 hours at their desks without a supervisor knowing that they were asleep for 2 hours, that they should be wasting their time looking for sports scores and motorcycles on websites rather than what they're supposed to do. What the indictment does not tell you is that Epstein's cellmate was mysteriously removed from the cell the day before he was killed, that the video camera in Epstein's cell was not working, and that the video camera immediately outside Epstein's cell was not working.
Oh, come on, Judge, this is incredible.
It is incredible. Add to that the most respected medical examiner in the United States of America, whom many of us know. I know him because he testified before me in my court in New Jersey many years ago, and we've developed a friendship. Full disclosure, I'm a friend and a fan of his, but he is truly brilliant and gifted. Mike Baden says the broken bones are not consistent with suicide. It's impossible for a person to break his own bones in the way these were done. It's only consistent with homicide. All of that is why the FBI is still investigating this.
Yeah, and this
you're saying when this examiner says...
Hold on. This guy's business was blackmailing, right? He had all these videos of people who went to his island and his house, and then he would blackmail them. That's basically, a lot of people said that's how he made his money, blackmailing. Well,
if you ask the hedge fund and the equity guys, they're going to say we never heard of him. He obviously made his money by some means, and it is theorized that this was the means. Let's put it this way, if I can come to the end of what you're about to say. There's a lot of people who wanted him dead.
That's right.
A lot of powerful, wealthy people who wanted him dead.
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
That's okay. When this medical examiner tells you it looks like homicide, as a judge who had this medical examiner in front of him, you're saying this is a credible person.
Absolutely.
Well, he's credible, John, because it's Dr. Michael Baden. He was the chief medical examiner in New York City.
Correct.
He's probably the most famous. He's probably the most famous pathologist alive in America today, and he found credible evidence of homicide.
I think a lot of Americans are looking at this and they're like, I don't know what to believe, but here I just want to establish that this is a very serious, credible person.
Yes, it is. Now, the indictment, of course, it mentions the 2 guards by name, one male, one female. They're the defendants. It also mentions other people by person 1 and person 2, employees of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So this is not an indictment about a conspiracy involving others. The conspiracy in this indictment is between the 2 jail guards who agreed, according to the government, agreed together to falsify the record. So the charge is the agreement, the conspiracy, and then each record that they falsified.
I'd like to hear what they have to say, if who was telling them how to behave.
Now, that is very interesting because the government has been negotiating with them for a week to get them to plead to what we call an information, an agreement between the defendant and the government bypassing the grand jury. Whatever the government offered them and whatever they offered the government, it didn't work out, and that's when the government got the indictment. So I think there's more here than meets the eye and more here than the government has revealed.
And then the most disastrous television interview ever done in the history of television, Prince Andrew.
Well, that also stirs the pot. In this case.
And now we know that Kevin McCarthy has sent a letter to ABC News saying why wasn't the interview aired, as Amy Robach talked about it on her open mic moment.
Right, with
that's
Virginia Giuffre.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a profound issue, the ABC News issue, because the government alleges that human beings were harmed by Epstein between the time that interview could have been aired and the time Epstein was arrested.
Yeah, so there's a lot of legs to the story. Judge, we'll keep following it.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Judge Andrew Napolitano there.